And we are live. Welcome to a live edition of a sort of Ask Kobo Anything AMA. Thanks so much for joining us. We'd love to know where you're coming from and viewing us from. So if you want to let us know in the comments, that would be awesome. We're coming here from a very snowy Toronto where it is gloomy and cold, but we are remaining upbeat. So that is the main factor. I'm Tara. I'm the director of Kobo Writing Life, and I'll be sort of leading the chat today with my two wonderful colleagues and hopefully lots of good questions from you guys that are watching live. So how about you introduce yourself? Laura, go first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura, Kobo Writing Life's author engagement manager. I do a lot of things, our social media pages. I also do a lot of author support in our ticketing systems on desk. And making sure authors get paid with our finance team. Lots of fun things.
Oh, apparently the video is not live on Facebook. We're going to ask Terrence behind the scenes to fix that for us. Thank you, Sarah, for pointing that out. And welcome. Teresa's here from New York. We have Prash who's tuning in from England and Miss Annette from Michigan. Also, Prash, Rachel is going to England soon, so that is a good segue into Rachel. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Rachel. I'm the promotion specialist for KWL. So as the title kind of leads you to believe, I run all things promotion. I run our ebook promotions, audiobook promotions. I work with OverDrive to run promos with them. And along with Laura, I also co-host the KWL podcast, where we bring you insights and inspiration for growing your self-publishing business. If you are not a subscriber, I highly recommend you subscribe now.
Awesome. Yeah, you really did spin that. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, that we don't that we have the podcast as well. All right. Thank you so much for telling us where you're coming from. So we have another person from Toronto. That is wicked. If you have any questions, please be sure to add them into the chat. And we'll do our best to either sort of pick them up as we go along, or we'll do them towards the end. So we have a couple of talking points that we wanted to chat about to really just help you as authors make the most of 2023 and really sort of get off to a good start. I say start, but I cannot believe it is the end of January. But so that is where we are. So let's start with a question that we got a bunch that was coming up that said, how to make the most of your pre-orders. So Rachel, do you want to chat about pre-orders? Because you do a lot in the pre-order report and the different forms that we have.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I would definitely recommend is get your pre-order up as soon as you can. There is no real date restriction on KWL. So get your pre-order up and then tell us about it. We have a form. Terrence, maybe you can link it. It is the tell us about your new release form. You fill it out, it comes to me, and then I add it to our new release calendar. So then I can add your ebook or audiobook to our new release pages when they are live. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. Laura, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you covered everything.
Unmuting myself. I think one thing to think about with pre-orders as well is that there's no restriction on the date that you have. So you can actually set a pre-order up as far ahead in as far advance as you would like. We don't have restrictions at all. Obviously, we say to sort of make it a bit realistic in you don't want to set a pre-order from like 8 years from now. So your readers are sort of disappointed or waiting a while. So that would be something to keep in mind with your pre-orders as well. And then, yes, you've linked to the form there, which is really awesome. Cool. So let's go on to our next subject that we have, which is sort of a real popular topic with our authors at the moment, which is really how to reach new readers with Kobo Plus. So Laura, how about you chat to this for a little while? Maybe can you explain what Kobo Plus is if anyone isn't familiar?
Sure. So Kobo Plus is our all-you-can-read reading subscription. So it's currently available in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, and Italy. We don't ask for any exclusivity for Kobo Plus, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Asking for exclusivity is really against our ethos as a company. We want to make sure you can reach as many readers as possible, so we'll never ask for that. Subscription readers, we really find to be a separate audience from your regular ebook readers, so you don't have to worry about your sales being cannibalized at all. And we just find that it adds to your overall revenue as an author. And we do have new geos coming, so we're always looking to expand further, so keep an eye out for those.
Do you have anything to add to that, Rach?
One thing that I would add is that if you are opting in titles to Kobo Plus for the first time, let us know so we can flag them with our Kobo Plus merchandising team to see if there's anywhere we can add your titles on site to give you a bit more visibility. And if you have a large backlist and you want to bulk opt in all of your titles, send us an email at writinglife@kobo.com and we can do our best to help you with that.
Awesome. That sounds great. I think what Kobo Plus has really shown us as well is that it's sort of really hitting up a different audience of readers. Because there's no exclusivity, you as an author aren't really going to be penalized for like having readers that want to buy your books a la carte, and then they want to also have a kind of all you can consume option with Kobo Plus. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I think it's something that has really just brought additional revenue overall. And yeah, sort of a whole new audience of readers available there. So one thing as well with the Kobo Plus that we have is there's an addition for that we've added audiobooks in some of the geos. And I know that we wanted to talk about kind of audiobooks and audiobook marketing as well. So sort of a good way to segue to that. Can you chat a little bit about that? Maybe the Kobo Plus aspect of audiobooks, Rach?
Yeah, sure. So Kobo Plus Audiobooks is similar to the all you can read, although it is all you can listen. And correct me if I'm wrong, but customers have kind of three options when signing up for Kobo Plus. There is the all you can read, all you can listen, and the all you can consume, which is both. And it's very similar. You can opt in your audiobooks to Kobo Plus and reach a whole new audience of voracious audiobook listeners.
Awesome. Thank you. We are now live on Facebook. Apologies for the delay in the connection there. We just had to reconnect. So thank you for coming and joining us. What you missed at the beginning, we were just asking if you guys have any questions that you can add them into the chat and just let us know if there's anything, and we'll pull them up afterwards and talk about them. But for now, we can get back to chatting about audiobooks and audiobook marketing. So Laura, how does an author publish their audiobook to Kobo?
So the first thing you'll have to do is make sure you have that audiobook tab enabled in your dashboard. So you can email us at writinglife@kobo.com if you don't have it. And then afterwards, you can get your books uploaded. It's pretty simple. Everything's just a few clicks away from getting uploaded. And then books go to the store pretty quickly. So you can get your books uploaded usually within 24 to 72 hours. And then once the books are uploaded, you can let our team know and we can make sure that you're on our audiobooks promotions list. Rach, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I work closely with the Kobo audiobook merchandising team to include Kobo Writing Life authors in our audiobook promotions. We do have a newsletter that will go out whenever there is a new audiobook promotion. There is a sign up link. If Terrence can drop that in the chat. If not, send us an email at writinglife@kobo.com and we can send you the link for that. And you will be on our outreach. So I will send out an email being like, this is the promotion. We run both buy more, save more promotions and price drop promos. And if your audiobook fits, then you email us your submission and we go from there.
Sounds good. And do authors see... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. One thing I should mention too is that we also have Kobo Plus and audio as well. So once your audiobooks are uploaded, you can opt them into Kobo Plus and be part of Kobo Plus Listen in Canada. So make sure you do that with your audio as well.
And I'm also going to jump in with one more thing. When it comes to the audiobook promotions, you need to make sure your audiobooks are uploaded directly through Kobo Writing Life to take place or to take part in these promotions. Just wanted to make sure that was clear.
So that's a question that we get a lot, actually, is kind of what is the difference between going direct with Kobo Writing Life versus publishing to Kobo through a different means. So can you kind of maybe talk, Rachel, about this to audiobooks?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that is always a factor when it comes to uploading directly or uploading through an aggregator, and this is for ebooks and audiobooks, is you're not paying an aggregator fee, which is always nice. It is, please correct me if I'm wrong, but earnings are 45% for audiobooks uploaded directly through Kobo. And like I said, you can then take part in our promotions. This is ebook and audiobook as well. So if your books are uploaded directly through Kobo, you then have access to all of the promotions we run.
And also what we had mentioned earlier in the chat about kind of leveraging pre-orders, you can also do the same for your audiobooks. So you can set a pre-order. We don't have any date restrictions, so it can be as far ahead as you like. Same with ebooks, that you want to be realistic with your pre-order to not disappoint your readers. But you can set those up. We also don't... I guess penalize is the right word, but we don't have anything against you changing the pre-order date. Obviously, we want you to not keep disappointing the readers, but we're not going to prevent you from publishing an additional book if you change your pre-order or anything like that. From a customer perspective, they just get notified that the date has changed and they know to go through, but because the purchase doesn't happen until your on sale date, we don't have any sort of restrictions around changing that. So that's the same for both ebooks and audiobooks. So just something to keep in mind there. And yeah, I
was just going to jump in with one thing about audiobooks that we forgot to mention. And that's if you don't see the audiobooks tab on your Kobo Writing Life dashboard, email us at writinglife@kobo.com, which I'm sure we will say ad nauseum throughout this event. And we can turn that onto your dashboard for you.
Yeah, so you might be looking at your account being like, what are they talking about? Audiobooks. But there is a terribly kept secret. So we do have access for audiobooks. And there's also a promotions tab available there as well. If you don't see audiobooks or promotions, you can email the team at writinglife@kobo.com and they'll be able to set that up for you. So one sort of hot topic around audiobooks at the moment is related to AI. So do you want to speak to this a little bit, Laura?
For sure. So we've definitely been getting a lot of questions about AI lately. It definitely is one of the hot topics right now in the indie industry. So we do accept AI audio on Kobo. We just ask that you specify in your metadata that it is an AI generated audiobook. So that way readers are aware of it. But yes, we definitely accept that on Kobo.
Yeah, and you can also opt those into Kobo Plus as well, which is a sort of an interesting thing that you could do with your AI to opt them into these subscription readers who are maybe not as sensitive to quality narration. Not that it's not quality, but it's getting better and better. So definitely something to keep in mind if you do have audiobooks. And as with everything with audiobooks, it's no exclusivity. We sort of encourage a wide strategy in the same way that we do encourage that with ebooks. So that's a good question. I'm going to pop up from Maria here. Is there a special spot in the metadata, or do you mean in the actual description? So if you're adding your AI narrator, you can add this as a narrator. So in the audiobooks, when you're uploading, there's the author name field, and then there's also the narrator name as well. So you can add it in there. And you can have multiple, I think it's up to 30 or something. So you can add it there, but you just want to make sure that you're naming it as an AI to make it as clear. I think for best practice too, if you could put something on your cover, in addition, I would also potentially add something into your description. You just want to really not disappoint a reader. You want to make sure that they know what they're purchasing. And then a follow-up question. Do we have any feedback on readers on AI? We haven't had any sort of feedback in the sense that somebody has thought that they have been purchasing something and disappointed that it's AI. It's all been so positive so far. So nothing of note as yet. But as this is kind of growing with the kind of more easy access to AI, it's something we definitely want to keep a close eye on because we don't want to be disappointing any of our readers. Any other comments on audiobook marketing, Rach, Laura, or shall I swiftly move forward?
I think
we
we've
covered
covered it.
everything.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about. So we'll switch gears to talk about OverDrive, which is our library system that you can distribute to via Kobo Writing Life. So do you want to speak, Laura, a little bit about how an author can get their books into OverDrive and why they should?
For sure. So OverDrive is one of our best partnerships with Kobo for sure, and definitely something you want to take advantage of as an author. So how you can opt in your books, you can go on your dashboard and check the rights and distribution section, and there you can enter a library price, and your books will be sent to OverDrive. So you really want to take advantage of this as an author to reach that new audience. You can also use it if people are asking or saying they want to read your books, but they can't afford to buy them right now. You can always say they're available on OverDrive and you can request them through your library if they're not there already. So that's something to keep in mind as well. We also have library promotions. So Terrence, sorry, Terrence, we're making you enter all the links, but if you can share the link to that form as well. So people can sign up there if they're interested. But OverDrive
What's involved
is
in
great.
a library promotion? What does that look like for an author?
Rach, you want to speak to that
I
a
was
little
going to
bit?
say, do you want to take this one? So on the author side, it's similar to the audiobook promotion in that we send out an email giving you the details of the promotion. And if you have ebooks that will fit the specific promotion, you will send a spreadsheet to me with the title, ISBN, and the discounted amount. But you don't have to do anything on the back end. All of it is done on OverDrive side. So you don't have to go in and mess with your pricing or your metadata. OverDrive will take care of all of that. So it is extremely simple for you to take part in OverDrive promotions.
And what kind of promotions can authors expect to see?
Ooh, they are all over the place. So the beginning of the year was start a new series in February. Obviously, romance. We've got Valentine's Day coming up. There are many all genre promotions, which is really nice. So they really kind of run the gamut on all genres will at one point be able to submit to an OverDrive promotion throughout the year.
Nice. So we have a couple of questions coming through about OverDrive specifically. So I'm going to pop these up. So Jacqueline, I'm currently distributing to OverDrive through Draft Digital. Is there an advantage of going through Kobo instead? It's sort of the same idea as distributing your ebooks or your audiobooks direct. You do earn a little bit more when you come if you distribute to OverDrive through KWL. You earn 50% royalties on every library sale that's there. But it is completely up to you. I know D2D also have expanded library distribution into other areas as well. So it's just totally a personal choice. But yeah, the main thing would be sort of you would earn a little bit more, and we do have opportunities for sort of Kobo only promotions with OverDrive. So those would be the main sort of differences there. I hope that helped. So we have Kate is asking, is OverDrive through Kobo also for audiobooks or ebooks only? At the moment, it's just for ebooks, but I hope to be able to add audiobooks to this soon to sort of kind of give a full distribution picture for everything. But so for right now, it is just ebooks. So thank you for the question. And we have one more from Prosh. This is a great question, actually. Should OverDrive's price be higher than a retail price? And the answer is yes, really. So your library pricing is generally higher than your ebook pricing. And the reason for this is because of the loaning aspect of when your book is being put into a library. So you should keep in mind that there's two options that a librarian has to purchase your book. So they can do a one copy, one user, which is very similar to if your book is like think about it as a physical book in a library that can be loaned out multiple times. So you want to be able to price higher to kind of cover the loans that are going to happen. But then the librarians also have the option to do a cost per checkout option, which is that they can buy your book one time for 10% of the price that you set. So for example, if you decided to set your book for $19.99 as your library price, the librarians also can do a one-off $1.99 purchase. So that's something to keep in mind if you are a little bit scared of putting your price higher. I know it can be a bit daunting to try and think of a library price like that, but there are two ways for them to be able to get them. And also word of mouth is really, really key with any book selling really, but definitely with librarians. I think it's about 25% of the books that are sold to libraries through Kobo Writing Life are demand driven, meaning that a reader has gone into the library, or either they've used the Libby app to request a book, or they've gone into the librarian and actually asked for the title itself. So that's kind of a really great way to, like, as Laura said, like, mention to your readers that your books are in libraries. But then also just being aware that the librarians have the chance to buy a one-off book for this lower price. And what we see often is that they buy a couple of those, or then they go back and they buy the cost per checkout option as well. So I definitely think in terms of pricing, what we'd say as a general rule of thumb is to sort of price your book along the lines of like a mass market paperback price. But it's totally up to you. You can maybe talk to some authors. I know there's some great different Facebook groups out there and stuff, and people can kind of give their advice on their library pricing. And then continuing with this, sorry, I'm just going to keep talking for a second as I go through all of these questions. Sorry, guys. So Maria asks that she wanted to set her shorter works for free, and there's only the option as 99 cents. But no, unfortunately, there has to be some sort of like the paid option, and the 99 cents is the absolute lowest tier that we can go to with the libraries. So if it was a shorter work, I would definitely make sure to kind of keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that it should be, you know, if it's a shorter work as an ebook, you should still be increasing it as a library book, even if it is shorter. But no, the 99 cent point is the minimum that we have available there. And OverDrive did a kind of great report that their sales are sort of increasing year over year. I think that they had in 2022 a 10% increase in the borrows that they had, which is really awesome. So Laura, could you speak to maybe what Libby is and how OverDrive works on a Kobo device as well?
Sure. So one of the great things about our partnership with OverDrive is that we actually integrated OverDrive in our devices. So authors can actually, or authors or readers who are also authors can actually go onto their device and take out books directly from the device. And Libby is an app that is OverDrive, which you can use through your phone or another smart device, and take out books through the app as well. So readers have a couple different ways to read your books through OverDrive. So definitely make sure you're taking advantage of that.
Nice. And I think that just the library, it's such a good way to, like, as a wide author, to be able to like get your books in front of like another audience as well. We like to sort of think of our audiences in different segments that we have, like our ebook readers, we have our audiobook listeners, we have our library borrowers, and then we have our Kobo Plus subscribers as well. So with Kobo Writing Life, you can access all four of those in just one easy area. Brendan has a question. I'm going to pop this up. My book doesn't seem to be available in the Toronto Library when recommended. It doesn't show up there. So this is what can be a bit confusing actually as an author, because you actually don't see the back end of the library system. So if your book's not showing up, that means that the library hasn't purchased it yet, but it doesn't mean that it's not available for them to purchase. So part of this would be, you can make a request for the book, go into your local library and let them know, you know, I'm a local author and like, I'd like to make my book available. Just start building those relationships really. And I think that that would be sort of key there. Anything you guys wanted to add? No,
I think you got everything.
Covered it.
Great. So let's roll back a little bit. And I know we talked about different releases and things like that, but there's a couple of comments here saying that they're new authors just looking for info. So what should an author keep in mind when they're setting up a successful release schedule? So Rachel, what about you? What do you think for this?
Absolutely. Like we mentioned before with the pre-orders, as early as you can, set up that pre-order. and start, creating a little bit of buzz around your book. Tell your friends to pre-order it, and your readers, when you have your existing readers, and make sure that your file is uploaded within 4 days to make sure the correct file is what will go out to your readers. We currently do not have asset list pre-orders. You need to upload a file in order to set up your pre-order. So within, or minimum 4 days before, make sure the correct file is uploaded, and make sure you have clean metadata. I cannot emphasize this enough, especially if it is a new release in a series. You want to make sure your series metadata is identical across every book in that series, so readers can keep finding the next book, and any automated emails that will continue the series properly. So clean metadata. I cannot emphasize that enough. And then again, like I said in the pre-orders, let us know about your new release. I believe Terrence has dropped in the form in the chat if you scroll up. And you will send the new release to us. I will be able to add it to our calendars and add it to lists on site when your book comes out.
And what about the emails that go out about your new releases as a customer?
Do you want me to take this? They are customized based on what people are reading. So the new release emails that I receive are going to be vastly different from the ones that Laura receives based on our reading style. So your existing readers or readers within your genre could potentially see your book in their new release email. So make sure all your metadata is correct, your genres are correct, your categories. Have I emphasized clean metadata enough? Because
well, we also have a question about can you explain what you mean by clean metadata?
Absolutely. I say absolutely, now I have to find the words. I would say make sure that your, like I said, series metadata is identical across. The series numbers are exact. If you have you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 throughout. If you have a 0.5, we allow that, throw that in there. Make sure your author name is typed correctly. Your title is correctly. Make sure that if you have a subtitle in your description, it appears on the cover of your book. That is what a subtitle is. And make sure your blurb is, edited, nice and succinct. Those would be my clean metadata tips. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think that you have to kind of think of the metadata is your key selling feature for digital books, because when somebody goes into a bookstore, an actual bookstore, they can pick it up, they can leaf through the book, they can browse the details, but you really only have a short while where they can kind of see your book on the site within all of these other books. So what we mean by clean metadata is just making sure that there's no typos, that your books are linking correctly. Sometimes we have issues where somebody has added a double space in a series name, for instance, and then that isn't enough for our algorithms are pretty great, but they don't know necessarily when that's actually the same series. So if there's a typo in your series, we want to try and link the series and upsell the next book as best as possible. We actually automate when there's another book in a series to a reader. So we want to make sure, but because you're inputting this, you just want to make sure that everything is exactly correct. That you're including the correct release dates or any key information there as well. You can include any sort of accolades that you want in the description. I definitely would kind of keep SEO top of mind with your description, as this is all going to help your brand and all help it sort of be surfaceable on Google searches and also through Kobo searches as well. So yeah, okay. Thank you. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind as well with your metadata is to make sure it's the same across your ebooks and your audio as well. So that way your ebooks and audio will be linked because that's what that linking is based off of as well. In terms of emails, like Rachel mentioned, we have those personalized new release emails that go out to readers, but we also have check out what happens next kind of email that goes out when you finish the book in a series. So you want to make sure your new release metadata matches what the previous book is as well. So that way, if someone's finished book 2, for example, when book 3 comes out, they'll get an email saying continue the journey with this series and see what happens next. I know I get a lot of those for romance books, so definitely don't want to miss out on those. Yeah.
And a lot of the work that we do to kind of improving our site, I would say as well, like browse the Kobo site if you're not a Kobo reader, sort of get familiar with what it looks like for a customer. You can download our apps for free on Android and iOS. So that's something to just keep in mind as well. And we actually have like a sort of, we're really trying to help people search for series, because that seems to be such a key part of like what readers want is the serialized content. So we have a sort of add series to cart option. You can search by series and everything within the author name. So that's why it's so important for your metadata to be correct, and to kind of, so we can link the series together as best that we can. So Dima's asking, should I put a short bio in the description as well? You can if you'd like. I wouldn't really. I would try and keep your description, especially at the top, at least as succinct as possible for like the book. But you can include it in the bottom if you would like. We don't have author pages on Kobo, unfortunately, but we do have a sort of area where you can click to search by author itself. But I would probably keep that within the book, because there is the preview now option. So if you have your author information in the first couple of pages of your book, they're going to be able to click through to that, because we do surface the first 5% of your content. So that's the preview that is available on the book pages. And a question from Stella: are the new release emails only for KWL authors or any authors offering their books via Kobo? So, Rach?
The new release emails are for, they will include any book that is uploaded on Kobo, based on reader preference. So one example that I really like to use recently is I got a new release email when the Prince Harry book came out. And in one of the like other titles you may be interested in was a KWL author. So if their book is uploaded through Kobo based on all of our readers' reading habits, your book may end up in a new release email.
Yeah, and I can
go ahead.
Sorry. I can, that's a problem with doing live Q&As. We're always talking over each other. I can confirm that too as a romance reader. I read tons of romance books in all different subgenres, and I always get a lot of KWL recommendations. So your books are definitely getting out there in those emails.
Yeah, so what we like to do is kind of think of every customer as getting their own personal bookstore when they come to Kobo, and that's kind of what the preference emails are also. But what the new release form is for is actually surfacing it in the website. So that is sort of primarily for authors that have uploaded to Kobo Writing Life directly. But that's not to say that your book wouldn't be featured in these different areas as well. So like everyone's emails are different and personalized. So if you're not seeing it, it doesn't mean it's not happening behind the scenes. So I wouldn't worry about that.
And one thing I would add to that is if you receive new release emails because you're a Kobo customer and you don't see your specific books, it might be because you're not reading your books on site. So just because, like Tara said, just because you don't see it in your emails doesn't mean that other people are not seeing it in theirs.
Exactly. I'm just going to keep going through these questions. Thank you so much for adding them. I'm going to keep going. These are awesome. So we have a question about how can I republish a book that I've published already on Kobo but want to make changes to? Laura, can you speak to this?
Sure. So yeah, you can go into your dashboard and you have full control over your books at any time. So if you've delisted a book before and you'd like to republish it, you can just go in and republish it anytime. And if you're having any issues with that, you can, again, email us at writinglife@kobo.com and our content team will help you republish the book.
Thanks. And you had a question earlier that I missed, so I'm going to add that one as well, is how can I add my book to more categories on Kobo? So we do only have 3 category options available when you publish through Kobo Writing Life. But surprisingly, not a lot of authors actually use all 3. So that would be my piece of advice, is to definitely use the 3 that are available and try and narrow it down to the books, the categories that really suit your book. Do you have any feedback, Rachel, as somebody that you like uses the kind of categories really for your promotions?
I would say, be, like Tara said, be as specific as possible. But also like, don't do 3 very specific ones that conflict one another. I will occasionally see a book that is both fiction and nonfiction, which by definition does not exist. So be as accurate as you can. And if you're not entirely sure which categories to use, browse the store, read some books within your genre that you're writing in and see how they like those authors classify their books to make sure that you are falling in the same line with your fellow authors.
Yeah, and something I would add to that as well is that you can browse. If you go onto kobo.com, you'll see a little flag at the top of the website that kind of defaults to your location. But if you click on this, it actually gives you the opportunity to browse our store in all of the kind of merchandised storefronts that we have available. I think there's like 40 odd ones there around the world. But you can use this to see what are your sort of Kobo also bots, for lack of a better term, but you're like more like this author are, because what we hear anecdotally from authors is that their similar authors on Kobo are not the same as their similar authors on Amazon, not the same as Barnes and Noble. So it's definitely worth doing a little bit of research to see who are my similar, who are readers reading like my book on Kobo, and what sort of categories are they using, what sort of price points are they using, what does their description look like, and not copying per se, but just being inspired by your fellow authors to see what they're doing. Another question around the personalized new release emails. Are authors notified when their books are included? No, I would love that, unfortunately, but because there are so many emails going out and each one is personalized, it would be a tremendous we would probably just be spamming you guys with notifications that you're being included in them all the time. But we do see authors take screenshots and sometimes see when their books are different trending or what emails they're in, and they share them that way. We try to capture them as much as we can see them as well. But in terms of like formal notifications or anything, Diane, unfortunately not. But thanks for your question. And Lisa has a question. I think there was one further up as well, so my apologies for missing that, about keywords. So will there ever be a place to add keywords when we're uploading books through KWL or increasing the category options? We're definitely looking into expanding the categories, so I would stay tuned for that. And in terms of keywords, we don't have keywords per se as in like a space where you can just like type in a bunch of stuff that would surface on the website. It's more so about optimizing your description to see that those will sort of be included in the search. So no, not at the moment, but definitely something that we see as feedback, and we like to take the feedback to the team as well. So we do appreciate you mentioning these things. Okay. Let me see. Another question. If there's no sales when your book is featured in an email, does that mean the team or algorithm will not select your book again in the future? No. So how it works with us is that we do have, we like to balance computer algorithms for sure with filling as much as possible. But then we also have the human curation piece, which is what Rachel sort of primarily works on. So we are sort of personalizing a lot of this stuff, but there is a person behind a lot of the genre lists that are going in. So we're actually pulling those lists together and putting them through. So if there's not a sale in particular right away, you might be trying to, or a promotion you've said, you might be trying to build your audience on Kobo. Maybe you've come wide for the first time. It can take a little bit of time to gain your traction. But it all goes into what we call actually is like building your temperature on Kobo. So with our rankings, it's not purely based on sales. It's based on like browsing activity, what customers are clicking on, if they're buying books that are sort of similar to your books as well. So there's a number of factors that goes into that. So Rach, do you want to maybe talk about promotions and like what goes into your selecting process behind this?
Yeah, absolutely. The selecting process does differ slightly based on the promotion. So for example, if it is a price drop promotion, such as the extremely popular daily deal homepage placement, the amount that will be discounted is taken into consideration because we are trying to offer our customers the best deal possible. So like $29.99 box set reduced to 99 cents is going to look more appealing than a $199 book dropped to $149, for example. So that does come into consideration. I will say covers play a huge role in selecting ebooks for promotions. As much as I would love to say that I read every book that goes into promotion, some promotions have like 500 titles, and unfortunately, I do not have the time, as much as I would love that to be my whole job. But great covers, clean metadata, definitely make sure that you are looking at your global pricing. When you enter your price for your book, you will have the option to customize the price in different currencies. There is a page on the Help Center that can help you with this. Terrence, in case you haven't dropped a link in a while, if you could dig that up. But what this means is that if your book is entered in as, let's say, $3.99 USD, it will automatically be converted to, my math is not going to be correct, but like $4.73 on the Canadian store, which is a less appealing price. So when choosing titles for promos, I am definitely more apt to look at appealing prices. So those would be my big things: are great cover, for price drop promotion, offer a price drop, and also read the promotions carefully would be my next big ask, to make sure that your title fits the promotion, to make sure you are providing all of the information. We do have a comment box, so utilize that as well. Let us know if you have other promotions or ads running. Let us know if your book has never been price dropped or promoted before, if it's never been free before. If you have a new release coming out and you're trying to bring more readers into the series, let us know that as well. So give us as much info as possible in that little comment box, and definitely read the promo description.
You're really shying away from what you actually want in that comment box.
What I do actually want in that comment box, thank you, Tara, for reminding me, are terrible jokes. If you have a dad joke that you would like to share, please tell me, so then I can gift it to the rest of the team.
Yeah, we do regularly. Rachel gets a lot of jokes in there, and they're very amusing. So we enjoy those. So thanks for utilizing that comment box in a way that we did not think it would be used for.
I don't know how this started, but it is truly a highlight of most of my days. So,
I know. I wish I had an example of what. Do you remember one off the top of your head, Rach, or no?
Yeah. Why should you never give Elsa your balloon? Because she'll let it go.
Okay, that actually is a
Thank
good
you,
joke.
Megan
That's
Russell, for that
hilarious.
joke. Yeah.
That is great. We had a question here about what to expect in terms of promotion. Like, is there an immediate sales result that you could get? Sorry, people are just groaning. There's just a lot of groan going on in the comments.
This is what
I like that joke.
Our chat usually looks like after I drop a joke. It's a lot of groaning, but I'm having a great time.
Eye roll.
It's a lot of
emojis just going
puking
crazy.
reactions.
But they're great. So sorry. So it's we had a question about sales to expect immediately from a promotion, and I think that can be really hard because it's so varied. It depends on like the geo where the promotion is, the books, like how many books are in it. But there are a bunch of different types of promos. So Laura, could you maybe explain the difference between, what does a BOGO mean? What is a price drop promo, and what is a percentage off? Or just maybe explain the different three.
Sure. So yeah, we have a bunch of different types of promotions. So once you have the promotions tab enabled, if you don't have it already, again, you can email us at writinglife@kobo.com to get the promo tab. You'll see the different types of promotions laid out there. So like Tara mentioned, we have BOGOs. So those are buy one, get one free sales. So those are pretty popular. They're usually genre based. So we'll have like a romance BOGO, a thriller BOGO. And what happens with those is you don't have to drop your price. When two or more participating books in the promo are added to a reader's cart, the deal is automatically generated within the cart. So those are great if you don't want to have to worry about price matching. Another option to choose if you don't want to worry about price matching is the percentage off promos. So we do those monthly as well. So for example, we'll do a 40% off promo. And again, you don't have to drop your price. There'll be a coupon code that goes out in email and is on the banner, and readers can use that coupon code to save on your books at checkout. And we also have price drop promotions as well. And those are usually themed around like different holidays or genres. So we'll have we had lots of Boxing Day sales. We'll do like a Thanksgiving one, but then we'll also do romance price drop sales as well. So lots of options to choose from. And we have those for audiobooks as well. So make sure you're on the audiobooks list.
There's a question here about, you said to upload at least 4 days ahead of promo launch. Is that the typical lag between uploading and when a book will appear on the site? Not really, actually. It's generally books are published within 24 hours, especially audiobooks, because we do it all in-house. So we say 4 days because that's just to cover, because our team sort of work Monday to Friday. So if there is anything that happens, that's going to cover the weekend, or if there happens to be a bank holiday, because in Canada here, we have sort of different public holidays, like the upcoming Family Day in February. So it just covers really if there is an issue with your book that you need support with, we want to make sure that you have that, which is generally why we say 4 days. But for the most part, your book will probably get published within 24 hours when it goes up. But that's just to be safe on the file itself. We want to avoid the wrong file going out to customers, really. And Brendan is asking, again, so which kind of promotions tend to give the best sales? So the ones that are upfront, 10%, whichever. There's no answer to that, really. It totally depends. I mean, I think the $100 one is kind of our max, and that is our daily deal feature area, which is like a really coveted spot on the site. And then there's the different 10%. So what I would say is to maybe play around with them, check out the description, make sure it's something that really fits in with your book. But also, is there something that fits in with your release strategy or your marketing plan for the year? I think that's key to keep in mind as well. If you have any suggestions on a promo, perhaps you have a bunch of authors that write in a similar genre and you want to do a dedicated promo or have a book line, we're totally open to feedback and any sort of experimentation with things like that you have. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that as well. So we're coming up on sort of maybe 14 minutes left. And I want to go back to Kobo Plus because there was a couple of questions that I missed. So forgive me for missing them. I'm scrolling through here now as we're chatting. So Brian has a question of, how can we tell if our books are on Kobo Plus? And that's a great question, because as a customer, if you're subscribed to Kobo Plus, you actually have a different experience of the page that you see versus if you're not. And because Kobo Plus is currently only available in 8 geos, you might not be in a geo where it is available, so you won't see it. So what I would say again is if you go to kobo.com and my bangs. At the top of the website is a flag that will default to your location. But I would go through that and go and see a location that we have got Kobo Plus. So for example, in Canada, go hit up our Maple Leaf flag and you can see the Kobo Plus options there. And that's going to give you a much kind of like a brief, like a short bio version of what's available to the customers. So then when a customer has a Kobo Plus account, they see way more curated content. There's different spotlights. Their emails are slightly different as well. So to answer the question, sort of, there's no way for you won't be able to see like my book is in Kobo Plus. Actually, you will. I just realized if you go to your main book page, oh no, but you have to go to a different geo. But so if you're in Canada, sorry, I'm rambling now. If you're in Canada and you click on your book, when you see the price section, it'll also have a Kobo Plus section. So depending on your geo, it might be easy to see, it might be not. But that is to say, if you opt your book in, you can opt your book in the rights and distribution section on your book in Kobo Writing Life. And once you hit save, that update will go through pretty quickly. So your books can definitely be there. But if you are concerned or you kind of want your book in and it's not there, you can definitely email us and we can confirm that your book is there. And there was another one here. There we go. Do we have any specific Kobo Plus promos and that you've seen more sales via Kobo Plus lately, which is awesome, Maria. Thanks for letting us know. Rach, do you want to talk to the promos?
Absolutely, I do. At the moment, we do not have any official Kobo Plus promos. This is something that I am working with the Kobo Plus merchandising team to see how we can make this happen, how we can make this work and fit it into our already existing promotion strategy. So right now, the best promo that you can do for Kobo Plus is if you are opting in a new book, new books, or into a new geo, email us, let us know, and we can let the Kobo Plus merchandising team know. But it is on my wish list for this year.
And also that new release form has a section to include whether they're in Kobo Plus or not. So that's helpful for us to know as well.
Absolutely.
Laura, why don't you take this question? Will Kobo Plus be accessible only if we're listing direct, or can we opt in if we're through a third party?
No, it's not only accessible if you're if you're with us directly. You can also opt in through certain aggregators, but it's best to check with your specific aggregator if you're concerned that you won't be able to. But one thing to keep in mind is the opportunities that Rachel mentioned with new releases and with promotional opportunities to come. It's always great to be direct so we can assist with promoting there as well. And our Kobo Plus team loves indies, so it's always nice to be on the Kobo side as well.
And yeah, I think one difference as well is that we sort of built out Kobo Plus with trying to give the authors as much control as possible, especially with it not being exclusive. There's no kind of opt-in requirement time. You can opt your books in and out if you want. And we even have the option of selecting the geo. So perhaps you are a little hesitant and you just want to try the Netherlands out for Kobo Plus. You have that option through Kobo Writing Life, which you might not have that option with different aggregators. So I would just just look at both and kind of see which options really suit your titles.
Yes, that's a great point too. We really tried to make it as like author controlled as possible because we know that it's important to authors to have full control over everything. So yeah, definitely take a look at all the different things in the KWL side before you choose.
Great. The question, let me pop it back up. That this author has noticed that 4 books of Zach Bates' series aren't showing up all together. How is best to get that corrected? That's great that you spotted that. So if your books are uploaded through Kobo Writing Life, you can just go into your account and kind of check the metadata and you can edit that. If they're through a different aggregator, you would have to contact them to make sure that the metadata is correct. If for some reason the metadata doesn't match up on what you're seeing on what you've uploaded versus what you're seeing on the store, you can definitely email the team at writinglife@kobo.com, and they'll be able to help this and kind of sort that out for you. And then I want to follow up as well because you did give us a joke. Oh. We dropped off for a second there.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We're all slowly coming back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone.
Real anticipation of this joke. It better be worth it. Let's see. Okay, the worst joke contribution that we have. Did you hear about the cartoonist found dead in his home? Details are sketchy. Rach, is that now something that you would enjoy as a joke?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Me and Rachel both saw that joke at the same time, and we were silently laughing while you were answering your question.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was actually going to apologize for this one also really got me. I just started laughing in the middle of the last answer because I saw this.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I thought you were just laughing at my
Yes, I was laughing at
your
you.
professionalism. Amazing. So this is a great question, actually, Kate. Will there be an audiobook sales dashboard? We haven't even touched on our sales dashboard. We'll be doing more of these lives. We'll be doing them every month, and maybe every quarter we'll have a Kobo specific one. So we'd love to dive into that a little bit more. But the answer is yes. So we have got a new dashboard that we're currently working on. It's in beta. So if you don't see the new dashboard and you would like to, email the team at writinglife@kobo.com and we can enable this for you. But the main reason that we sort of put this together was that we wanted to include audiobook sales and ebook sales all in one place. One thing that is also new in this dashboard is that you can see your pre-order numbers. So that is really probably one of the top asks that we got. It also has some nice graphs. The team have been working on it. It just looks really pretty. You can also export your sales information so you can see it live for sure. So yeah, if you're interested in the new dashboard, you can email the team at writinglife@kobo.com. The jokes are really taking it away.
Now I'm laughing at you. Sorry, not the jokes.
Oh, thanks.
Does it make you feel better that we're now laughing at you?
Kind of. Diane, thank you for your comment saying Kobo Plus has been profitable to me and all the indie authors I know. Yeah, it's been so awesome to see such the positive feedback that we have, especially when we launched in sort of our more English language focused geos. So if you're not sure, again, Kobo Plus is available in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy, and Portugal. So Karen, is this the same dashboard that's been out for a year? Yes, but not everyone has had access, Karen. You're just in our lucky group. But we are also adding improvements to it. So you might have noticed we just updated the date range filters. So those will be updated on a regular basis, and we'll have more stuff rolling out. And then what we're also working on is introducing the Kobo Plus sales stats. So it's really great to hear that you guys have been doing really well with Kobo Plus. We don't show this to you in a really great way. So we're hoping to integrate Kobo Plus into the dashboard as well. So that's something that we're working on. And then what's the address? So Terence, could you drop the address in the chat, actually, just to say? It's because I'm going to butcher it again. It's writinglife@kobo.com.
We should make a new banner for the next chat that's just like Writing Life so we can point to it.
I know. I'm actually just going to have somebody else do the banners while we chat so I can appreciate the jokes. I feel like I'm missing out on them. Like, awesome. And then, yes, Karen said, love for there to be an audio promo tab as well. Yeah,
Rachel would too.
Definitely something that's on our wish list to integrate the promo tab with audiobooks. We'd love to do it with Kobo Plus as well and see what other opportunities that we could have that are available. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I've missed. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention that we didn't touch on?
Yeah, so you did touch on it a little bit, but I think it's worth emphasizing a little bit more. You mentioned that what's working for you on other retailers like Barnes & Noble or Amazon might not necessarily work on Kobo, and I think that's a great point. So when you're going wide, you do have to change up your strategy based on the different store. So for Kobo, because we're Canadian, I really want to emphasize to everyone that if you're doing any ads, make sure you're targeting Canada and not just the US, because I've talked to a few different authors who haven't done that. And I do think it makes a big difference because our main audience is here. Another thing too is to make sure you have, like, we ask you to put in global pricing for all our relevant geos, but definitely if you're going to pick one other one, make sure Canada is in there. And then in terms of links, you can also share not only just your Kobo links, but links to your books on Kobo partner stores as well. So if you're making an ad for the Netherlands, you can share your Bowl link. If you're doing an Australia or New Zealand ad, you could use Booktopia, which is the bigger store there, because the readers in those geos might know our partner stores better than Kobo itself. So definitely keep those in mind for sure.
And we have lots of updates. There's lots of things going on all the time that we kind of put out through our newsletter. So our newsletter went out this morning. It is the KWL Quill. So you can sign up for that if you don't have access already. Terence, I'd ask you to add the subscribe link, but I'm not sure if you'll find it before the end of this chat. So you can also email us at writinglife@kobo.com and we can send you the link to sign up for our newsletter. But that's where we're going to tell you about any Kobo updates, anything that's going on when our new dashboard is going out, things like that. And generally just different advice. We have sort of tips on craft, tips on your business, different tools that you can access through Kobo Writing Life as well. So if you're not receiving the newsletter, I definitely would recommend signing up for that. And we are coming to the end of time. I'm not going to take any more questions because I don't think we'll have time to answer them. But just thank you so much for tuning in live. And if you're tuning in after the fact, thank you also. I hope it was helpful. If there's anything that we didn't touch on that you'd like us to do next time around, we're always welcome to the feedback, and let us know. And if not, we will see you in a month. Where we will do another live soon. So thanks again so much for the engaged chat. This is really fun. Thank you for the jokes. And thanks for laughing, not at me, and then also at me, my team. So that's awesome.
We're here for you.
And if you have any questions, we'll try and get to them in the chat as well. We can answer on Facebook and YouTube manually too.
Exactly.
And there's a question about sending in a joke. If you send to writinglife@kobo.com and address it to me, I will receive your jokes. So that is also an option. Thank you very much.
I know. Cut to like a week from now where she's just like, there's too many jokes.
No such thing.
I know. We were just talking about how many tickets you answer, Rach.
Yeah.
Give me the jokes.
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. It's been wonderful
Thanks,
chatting,
everyone,
and
for
thanks for all the
tuning in.
comments. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.